You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Thank you for joining me on another podcast. Glad you can be here. You are listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. I thank all of you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening to the Spotify side of things, go ahead and follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe and comment and like and all that good stuff. Go to my website, atswmikedavis.com. It's one word. Go there to get in contact with the show and comments and suggestions, or just read my blogs. I won't take up much more of your time. Let's get into it. So before I start the show, I'm sitting here on this Saturday on podcast number 29. Scrolling through YouTube. I don't watch much television. When I do, it's YouTube. I've spoken about this in previous podcasts. Seems like everyone's talking about this B. Simone person. I've never heard this person until apparently she just came out and said she doesn't date 9-to-5 guys because he isn't a entrepreneur like her. I guess she's an entrepreneur. I don't know who she is. What she doesn't understand is that most entrepreneurs, honestly, are broke. I don't, because I don't mean that in a bad way, but because most entrepreneurs, they don't get the break. It's only a small percentage that really get the break. And when I say broke, I don't mean like, oh, they're just living paycheck to paycheck, but I mean where a lot of the money that they make, they reinvest that money into what they are doing to give themselves a cushion. So I don't even know much about the story, whatever she says, but I'm just seeing the headline here on somebody that I follow on YouTube. B. Simone says she doesn't want to date a 9-to-5 guy because he isn't an entrepreneur. Yeah, I guess. There's another one. Ladainius Tomlinson saying that NFL team owners should speak out and act. Jerry Jones hasn't said nothing. I just want people to let that sink in. Jerry Jones has said nothing about, all the injustice that is going on with black people and people of color. Speaks volumes. That's all I'm saying. All right. So since we're, I'm talking about that or whatever, let's just stay on that train right here. I'm going to put it out there. I don't really like saying stuff like this about my fellow black man, but Jason Whitlock is a coon. It is what it is, okay? The dude is this dude is unbelievable. So we all know that I won't say he got canned at Fox Sports, but his contract wasn't renewed. But during an interview with Outkick, never heard of Outkick, Whitlock was asked about what he would say to Colin Kaepernick supporters now in the wake of the NFL's commissioners, Roger Goodell admitting that the league was wrong not to allow players to protest by kneeling during the national anthem. Whitlock went on to say, what was he right about? That police brutality is bad. I've never met anyone who believes police brutality is good, Whitlock said. Police brutality is a societal issue that impacts all demographics. Jason Whitlock, this is what I feel about you, and I'm pretty sure I am not the only one. Jason Whitlock is a coon and a sellout to the 10th degree. I hate saying that about another black man, but it is what it is. I mean, even if he's just doing this for shock value and for viewers, now is not the time for that to, remember Jason Whitlock did the skit on Fox Sports 1 where I think he had one of the guys, whoever the light-skinned dude is from Kid and Play. I haven't seen him in a long time or heard from those. I forget which one is who. But the light-skinned dude from Kid and Play, Remember, he had him come on and act like he was Colin Kaepernick with the afro and the Kaepernick jersey on, with the black glove on with the fist in the air, which was one of these worst skits I've ever seen. It was offensive, but I don't know. When you talk about people who are self-hating, Whitlock might be in that demographic. Remember, he went at the Breakfast Club over the whole Kaepernick thing. He just doesn't seem to get it. And by his statement, it seems like he's on the all lives matter part of things, which I get. All lives do matter, but at this point in time, we're talking about Black lives, people of color. Our lives are the ones that are being affected right now. No one's saying that all lives don't matter, but it seems like that is the side of things that Jason Whitlock is on, and I'm just disappointed in this guy. I'm glad he's off the air. I really am. I'm never one to say, oh, well, I'm glad this guy lost his job and whatnot. But Jason Whitlock brings nothing to the table, and it's just bad listening to Whitlock. I'm not a Whitlock fan. I'm glad he's off the air, and now he's trying to go the Bill Simmons route and do his own thing, his direct-to-consumer thing, put his podcast out there. Everyone knows podcasts are jumping all over the place. Yeah, so, man, Jason Whitlock. I'm tired of talking about him. Let's move on to the next thing, since we're on this whole race thing and whatnot because of one Mr. Whitlock. Tory Hunter was in the news, and he recently spoke publicly about being discriminated against at many ballparks across the country. Now, he said that it happened far more often in Boston. So, Tory Hunter, he played for a lot of teams, but I remember him mostly with the Minnesota Twins, and he recently spoke on 2 radio shows about being discriminated against at many ballparks, but said that it happened more often in Boston. Like I said, he listed Boston in a no trade clause in all of his contracts. He said that even though he wanted to play for the Red Sox, because, all the racism, all the racist remarks that he would hear in Fenway, he just couldn't. So Hunter recounted one incident at Fenway Park where children called him a racial slur during a game while nearby adults silently stood by. my boy said I got to do the Mike Davis when I do the. When you have adults that condone that type of behavior, that's where racism, it starts. When it starts, you're bringing your kids up to be racist because no one is born racist. Racism is taught. So this is the thing these kids are hearing at home. And I don't know, I guess they go to these sporting events. They say, try it out. Say the N word to them. Get used to it. I'm sorry. If I was Tory Hunter, I would have stopped the game. And I know it's frowned upon for players to run into the stands. But I would have given his parents a beatdown. I just would have. It would have been me and his parents going at it. Now, they're probably going to sue and all that, and that's fine, whatever. But you can never erase that ass whooping that you just caught just now. And it's going to be one to remember. Because you wouldn't say this to me or a player, Tory Hunter. You wouldn't say this to this man in the streets, face to face. So don't hide behind your kids and have your kids do this and they can say whatever. You say it. Say it to me. Say it to my face. Now, I've been to Boston. I've been to Boston more than once, but I only remember one time. That's when I went as an adult. But I wasn't there long enough, I guess, to see that side of Boston. I've heard about Boston being probably the most racist city up north. But I was there only 3 days, and as I said, I wasn't there long enough. And I guess 3 days, it doesn't matter how long you're there. You can experience racism at any given time. But it is an odd city, though. It is a very odd city. I didn't see many brothers, in Boston. There's a neighboring city called Everett. I believe it's Everett. I saw some of my brothers over there in Everett. I saw some of them over there, but in Boston itself, it's a weird, strange feeling when you're in Boston. I wish I could speak more on the racism side that goes on up there, but I don't know about it. That's where Mark Wahlberg is from Boston, Massachusetts. Remember, he had an incident when he was growing up where he said some racial slurs to somebody, and I don't know if he ended up doing jail time. I think they beat the guy up. It wasn't a black guy. It could have been. I don't know if it was an Asian guy but it was somebody of. They weren't white. that part's for sure. But they were saying racial slurs to the guy, and I believe they beat the guy up. But Mark Wahlberg got into some trouble and whatnot. Can racism be untaught? That's something that I don't know. I'm a little concerned now when I'm sitting here thinking about Mark Wahlberg as my TV screen goes blank and gets off YouTube from this B. Simone person or whatnot. But Mark Wahlberg, like I said, he got to some trouble when he was younger. And yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. But I don't know if racism can be untaught. But clearly in that moment, Mark Wahlberg was a racist. It is what it is. I don't know. This country is, I don't know. It feels like this country is on a one-way ticket to hell, so to speak. So unfortunately, my man, Torrey Hunter, he had to deal with that. It's not just him, it's other players too. And I read in an article that Euclid, I believe that was the Red Sox catcher. He also said he overheard some racists one time in Fenway talking to another player, a visiting player, calling him racist slurs. And he said he felt compelled to do something. He didn't do anything. He just felt compelled. Let me tell you something, man. You're a part of the problem if you're not going to say anything. I'm not going to sit there. If I see a fellow man next to me and he's being done wrong, I'm just not going to sit there and just watch him get done wrong. I don't know. Like I said, it seems like this country is, man, it's on that one-way ticket. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. All right. So sticking with baseball, the MLB, they are proposing an 89-game season with prorated salaries and expanded playoffs. Now, the MLBPA's union newest proposal called for a season of 89 games, full prorated salaries, and expanded playoffs. MLB is expected to reject the offer. The last offer from MLB to the players called for a 76-game season, 75% of prorated salaries, and up to 8 playoff teams per league. Players rejected the offer. There's no timeline for the two sides to reach an agreement. And baseball is the last of the 4 major North American professional sports leagues without a plan to restart the season. So we all know what this is about, right? This whole thing is about money. And I got to shout my boy out, Chipper Jones, former third baseman of the Atlanta Braves. And he recently said that, it's a shame. Me and Chipper share the same sentiment that you have these ball players, they're bitching about money and whatnot, and you have a good percentage of the country that's out of work now, that's been furloughed or fired, either one, and a lot of them don't know how they're going to pay their next bills. Now, you have the CARE Act that's come in and giving people an extra amount of money with unemployment. But remember, that doesn't last forever. That runs out July 31st. So you're going to have people, it's going to get real for some people come July. And maybe their companies shut down for good. They just don't open back up. And, they're only getting whatever they can get off unemployment. And that might not be enough to pay the bills. And people have children. People have elderly people to care for. And here we have Major League Baseball players who are millionaires, paid millions, to play a game that a lot of us will play for free and do play for free every weekend in our city parks. And they're complaining about money. And it just seems, it doesn't seem, they are selfish. It's a very selfish act. Considering you have everything that is going on in today's world, and the unemployment is just skyrocketed through the roof, and players are just sitting on their high horse complaining. They want this X amount of money and whatnot, and it's a sad state of affairs when it comes to Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball is probably one of the few, probably not the few, but probably the only league where they don't care nothing about the fans. They can give a rat's ass about fans. They will strike in a minute. Major League Baseball will do it. All about the money. Money, power, respect, huh? Moolah. Ah, man. All right. Well, I was going to take a break, but you know what? I think I'm going to keep the. You know what? Never mind that. I'm going to go ahead and take a break right here. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a break right here. Don't go nowhere. You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. I'll catch you on the other side. All right, boys and girls, welcome back to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. Glad you can join me on this Saturday. So let's keep this thing going. Basketball news. Zion Williamson he's been in the news a lot lately because of, being sued and all that. Gina Ford, who is suing Zion Williamson, alleges new housing, luxury cars for parents while at Duke. So there were new court filings submitted Wednesday, which also called for Duke head coach Mike Krzyzewski to testify based on statements he made on the NCAA's pay-for-play scandal. Now, Wednesday's filing claimed that Williamson's parents moved from a $150,000 South Carolina home with a monthly rent of $900 into a North Carolina home valued at almost $1 million, with rent listing $5,000 a month upon signing with Duke. Now, that home is owned by a Duke alumnus, according to the filing. Gina Ford also points to 3 luxury cars registered to Williams' parents: a 2018 Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, a 2016 GMC Yukon, and a 2015 Cadillac Escalade, citing DMV records as evidence. Wednesday's filings also point to Nike representatives discussing alleged payments to Williamson in 2017. Keep in mind, he was in high school then now. Citing Southern District of New York's court's records. Now, Duke is a Nike school. Now, like I said, 2017, Zion was still in high school. But Gina Ford was saying that he was ineligible to even play at Duke, because of some payments that he might have been receiving from Nike to go to a Nike school. So, Miss Gina Ford, if you knew he was ineligible, why would you want to represent him? If you knew this. See, this is what I don't like about this whole thing. I feel bad for Zion. I really do. I really do feel bad for this guy, because right now, it's being proven no one had his best interest at heart. Not Gina Ford, not Mike Krzyzewski, not his parents. This is the guy who's going out, who's making the money. He's the money maker. He's the one going out there putting his body on the line every night, playing, hooping it up. While you have all these other people that want to make all this money off of him, and that's what it comes down to. Gina Ford is upset because Zion backed out of a deal with her agency company and went on to another company to represent him. Now, I don't know who is going to sign with Gina Ford now that she's put all this guy's business out there. Who would trust her? She's going to need to find another line of work. But I don't like that no one had this kid's best interest at heart. The kid was 17, pretty much when all this started. He was still in high school. When you're 17, you know, people tell you to sign whatever. I know they tell you to read and whatnot, but I'm pretty sure in that situation, you're just happy you're going D1. You're signing anything people put in front of you. And you have grown adults, grown people. I'm not talking about some 25-year-old who's fresh out of college trying to, make trying to be an agent or whatever. You have grown people in this situation that took advantage of Zion Williamson. And this is where I feel bad for him. Because now everything is coming down on him. He might be called to testify in court. Krzyzewski might be called to testify in court. They're going to have to settle. If you're Zion, you don't want any of this stuff getting out. And yeah, he probably knew his parents were getting paid. But when you're 17, what can you do? When you're 17, you're pretty much still listening to what your parents are telling you what to do. Even at 18. Because you think your parents have your best interest at heart. But they pretty much went to who was the highest bidder. And Duke might have been the highest bidder in the Nike school. Because I read reports that he was considering going to Clemson, which is in South Carolina. No, Clemson's in South Carolina, right? I believe, yeah. Clemson is at the bottom of South Carolina, if I'm correct. It's not far from Georgia. I know that much. But I believe it's in South Carolina. But, I read reports that he was considering going there. And I don't know if they're in Adidas school or not, but I know Adidas was in the mix. And, as a kid, he probably doesn't know what's what. His parents are in on the recruiting process, and they could be negotiating behind closed doors. Not could be, they were. Duke just happened to be the highest bidder. And that's where he went to school. His parents probably said, "Hey, go here," and that's that. But these people don't have his best interest at heart. And I remember me and one of my boys got into an argument about this. Not an argument. We had a debate, and two of my homeboys. Now they come from, and they're going to know who I'm talking about. They listen to this. Now they come from African households. Now they do things a little different. Now, I forget which one of my boys said this, but they're brothers. And one said, he was like, pretty much, "You're damn right. You're going to give me some money if I'm taking you to practice and all that and helping you get into the league and whatever." Here's my stance on that. And remember, this is kind of the stuff that Aaron Rodgers kind of went through. And remember, he cut his family off. What's the other guy? Philip Buchanan from the Raiders. His mom said he owed her $1 million when he first got drafted. I wouldn't be like that, guys, because it's a line there, and you got to be careful not to cross that line. I don't want to put my kid in a situation where he's basically playing to pay me, to feed me, to give me money. I didn't ask for my kids to be here. Okay? So I'm not going to put the onus on them that they must give me X amount of dollars or money, period. Now, as a kid, if you have that love for your child, that genuine love, you love your kid, like everyone does. Well, I can't say some people don't love their kids, but I love all my kids. But when you have that love for your kid and you're doing it out of that love for that child, trust and believe. I truly believe that child's going to take care of you. And my thing is, I don't need, I don't need my kid to buy me a house or a Mercedes or whatever. Look, if my kid is good enough to play professional sports, and hopefully, I own my own home and all that by the time that happens, and I have my savings in check. I don't need his money. Look, just buy me a truck. If you want to buy me something, buy me a truck and give me some season tickets to your games. That's it. That's really all I need. I don't need nothing else. That's your money. You earned it. That's not why I did this. That's not why I helped you get to where you are. You are my child. You are my son or my daughter. And that's what you wanted to do. And I wanted you to be the best at what you wanted to be. That's why I did it. I'm not doing it to be rewarded. I'm not doing it to live in a $1 million home. I'm not doing it for a G-Wagon. That's kind of where me and my boys have a discrepancy at. I'm fine if I'm not giving 1 cent. Even if you don't want to buy me the truck, give me season tickets. I'll show up to the games. Give me some season tickets and pay for my flight. That's it. I'll be at the games. That's all there is to it. I just want to see my kids succeed. My kid didn't ask to be here. And that's where people in Zion's situation, they have a lot of people that are around them that are greedy and for themselves. Now, if you have a kid that's like Zion, who is guaranteed to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft or whatever sport that he plays in, hold it down. Did his parents really need to be living in $1 million home for 1 year? We all knew he was going to be one and done. So that home you lived in South Carolina in for the past how many years, you couldn't deal with that for 1 more year? 1 more year that you couldn't deal with that. This world is greedy. And that's all it is greed. Now, I'm telling you, greed will be the destruction of you. And you're seeing it right now with Zion and his parents' situation and Coach K. Now, don't get it twisted. This happens at all the schools. This isn't just a Duke thing. And this has been happening. This didn't just happen overnight. This happens at all NCAA schools, and this is not just a Duke thing. So don't think that Zion is just the only one who the adults in his situation didn't have his best interest at heart. That happens pretty much at every school you go to. You can find a situation like that. And I just think it's sad. I don't like it. I wish that kids, you kind of had that Mamba mentality, that Kobe mentality. Look at Kobe. Kobe cut his parents off. The minute they didn't agree with his decision, now I know it's a different situation. When the late Kobe Bryant was seeing his wife, his now widow, unfortunately. I hate that happened to Kobe. Wasn't a fan of Kobe, but I respected the man. But yeah, Kobe had no problems cutting his parents off. And I wish that guys kind of had that mentality coming out of high school, where you can kind of just, cut your parents off and do what you need to do to get, to get your purpose done. Because it guys are getting screwed up behind adults who should be the bigger person in these situations. That's screwing them over because they're for themselves. You wasn't in the gym shooting with Zion. None of y'all was. Well, I take that back. His stepdad was in the gym shooting with him. But still, just bad situation all the way around. Again, I feel bad for Zion. I really do. People should have I just feel bad for him. Now, with that being said, if you know me, I am not a Duke guy at all. At all. I can't stand Coach K. I hope Duke goes down for this. Now, they probably won't. They'll probably sweep it up on the rug. I remember North Carolina, it was just a few years, UNC got to some trouble with Roy Williams. With some grades were changed and whatnot. But you don't hear about that now. That was just a few, maybe 2 years ago, if that. But yeah, so the same thing might happen to Duke. They might just shove it, push it under the rug because they can't let anything happen to valuable Duke. The Dukies out at Cameron Indoor Stadium. I can't stand Duke. I can't stand Duke basketball. But, you know, since Nike was in this last story, let's keep it Nike. Let's move on to the next topic. So, speaking of Nike, okay, since they were all in the Zion legal mess, now new Nike CEO John Donahoe. That's a name for you, Donahoe. New Nike CEO John Donahoe sent a company-wide memo today. Well, not today. It was actually yesterday. Recognizing Juneteenth as a paid holiday for U.S. employees moving forward. Now, Juneteenth is celebrated on June 19th and commemorates the end of slavery in the U.S. It is not an official national holiday, but Dorsey feels it should be. And I applaud this move by Nike. People, I'm going to stand up now, and I'm going to do this. Yes. Yes. Now, for those of you who do know me, you know that I already do this. What's funny is I don't know if any of my guys at work have noticed that I take June 19th off. And it's funny, I was just telling my girlfriend, she was asking me, so what are you doing on June 19th? I said, we're going out of town. We're going out of town. Now, June 19th falls on a Friday this year. But I already recognize I don't celebrate July 4th. I don't. You know, people might say, oh, you're not American and it's unpatriotic of you and whatever. Look, July 4th does not represent, it doesn't represent to me what it represents to other races in the United States. My people were not free from the Declaration of Independence. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay. My people were still slaves down south when that Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776. My people weren't free. So on July the 4th, that's just happy I'm off work day. I'm going to get some banners made up and just say, it's just going to say happy off work day. I do the grill and the I don't do fireworks. You know, I have young kids in my house, so I might start doing it. I've never been a fan of doing the fireworks at home or whatever, but I might start doing it. But that's happy off work day for me, July the 4th. I don't celebrate the 4th as far as that goes, but I've already been taking June 19th off. That is a holiday for me, no matter where I'm at. So I hope other black people do the same as me. Take that day off as I do. I don't work on June 19th. It is what it is. That is a national holiday for me. Shout out to Nike. I'm glad Nike is recognizing that. And they are giving their employees in the U.S. Paid holiday off. So I hope more companies do that. And I hope really that June 19th becomes a national holiday. That's when all slaves were free. That's when we were free, not July 4th. So, as I said, I don't celebrate it. So, speaking of all this flag talk and July the 4th and whatnot and, you know, all that other stuff. But speaking of that, on Wednesday, NASCAR finally officially banned the flying of Confederate flags at all sanctioned races across the country. Now, NASCAR Truck Series driver / owner, I might mess up his last name, Ray Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli. Now, he responded to the news of NASCAR's new stance by announcing that he will be quitting after the 2020 season in protest. And since he will be quitting, I'm going to stand up and give you this. Have a nice day, Mr. Ray Ciccarelli. Go ahead and take your views somewhere else. I don't know how. I have no idea how people are still flying a Confederate flag in the South anyway. Yeah, I don't have any words for this story. All I can say is bye. Have a good day. Goodbye. Shout out to NASCAR finally banning all the Confederate flags flying around their races. I think Bubba Wallace is the only black guy who drives in NASCAR. I believe he is. Not a lot of brothers showing up to the NASCAR series, showing up to those sets. You know, I like playing it on PlayStation back in the day. Does that count? Check this out. Got a little cute story, you can call it. So I bought a jersey, and I bought an NBA jersey. I bought a Mutombo throwback jersey with the big hawk that goes around the jersey. And I bought an Anthony Davis Lakers jersey. Now, the Laker jersey was going to be a giveaway to a giveaway contest for the podcast. It's authentic. I put the Mutombo jersey up. Now, I have the jacket that goes with the jersey already, with the big hawk, the black, the away jacket, the warm-up jacket. So I put that up. I left the Anthony Davis jersey out because I was going to take a picture of it and post it online on all the podcast social media sites to announce the winner of the jersey. So my son comes in. I love my son. My son is awesome. I also bought a Laker hat to go with it. And I know how people love the snapbacks nowadays, so I got the snapback. Like I said, this wasn't intended for me, the jersey and the hat. So the next thing I know is my son is my 2-year-old son is putting the jersey on and the hat, and he's playing ball in it. Now, on him, it looked like an oversized dress. So he's walking on the jersey and whatnot. And I went outside and I left the door open, and he comes out behind me. And then the next thing I know is he's outside stepping on the jersey. Bottom of the jersey gets dirty. So I can't give this jersey away now. It's dirty with tags on it. The tags are still on the jersey. So I put the jersey in the dirty clothes. So the jersey has to be washed. Has to be washed, but this is his jersey now, Anthony Davis. I don't know if he's going to be a Laker fan when he grows up, if he's going to be an AD fan when he grows up, but he loves this jersey. I mean, before I put it in the dirty clothes, he was up looking for the jersey, just looking for it. And that's my boy. That's my guy. Shout out to my boy, man. That's my son. So I gotta buy him a Anthony Davis jersey that actually fits him, so he can have his jersey. He has a goal in the house that he hoops on and whatnot. And it was just so funny seeing him put the jersey in, and he put the hat on backwards. And he has his ball. And he just starts shooting on the goal. But thought that was fun. I just wanted to share that with my listeners out there. And this was a good podcast today. It was a good podcast. It was short but good. And sometimes, that's all you need. So, look, that's all I got for you today, folks. I want to thank you all for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, follow the podcast. go ahead and hit that follow button. If you're listening to this on YouTube, subscribe, comment, and like, all that good stuff. Do all of it. Do all of it. Look out for some of the giveaways who we might have going on. I want to give a shout out to Taft Green. He won the Air Jordan 5 giveaway, and he's already gotten them. He hit me up on one of our social media links to let me know that he received the shoes. So, yeah. So, go to my website, atswmikedavis.com. That's all things sports with as an acronym. Mike Davis, atswmikedavis.com. Go there to get in contact with the show or for comments or suggestions or read my blogs. And hey, that's all I got for you guys. You've been listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. And remember, it's your world. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm out. Peace.
You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.